Well, what an opportunity we have today to reintroduce you to Coach Alex Jensen. Welcome, Alex. And also, could I have Alex's family? Natalie, could you stand up with those beautiful young ladies you've got there? Mark my words, today will be a historic day for University of Utah men's basketball. It's remarkable to have Alex return home at the same height and the same playing weight. It's absolutely fantastic. Many of you will remember 1998. I was a PhD student. I walked around my office and asked who had driven the furthest without sleeping, and we then drove 26 straight hours to make it to the Final Four, to watch an incredibly gritty Utah team play their hearts out. And I'm going to tell you what Coach Alex Jensen brings to the University of Utah today is that same grit and that same tenacity. And so today we do lean a bit into the successes of our past, including, I am told, Manny Hendricks's short shorts, although you do get veto power over that. I appreciate that. I'm not sure I can see that again, to be quite honest with you. But we also look forward to the future, because as we've gone through this interview process and we've gone through the evaluation of coaches, what we have here is a coach with incredible basketball acumen, an incredible sense for what this community, meaning the community of all of us, needs, and also particularly what our players need in terms of player development. He is the consummate player development coach. And so with that, I want to turn the time over to Bill Riley, voice of the Utes, to take it from here.
Well, good evening. Forgive my voice. The end of the season comes and then it just disappears every year. It's great to be back in this building again. I didn't know if I'd be back in this building again this year. For those of you that have listened to me for years, you know that I like to say on my broadcasts, it's always a great day to be a Ute, but some days are better than others. And that's what today is. It's one of those days that's better than others. As we welcome Alex Jensen back to campus, it's also great to see so many friendly faces here today, so many great supporters of the Utah basketball program. Our guys are over here too. Former coaches, former players, teammates of Alex that are here too, and all of you that have made it out here tonight. It is indeed a great day to be a Ute. And of course, Alex's family, his little girls, his wife down in front, Alex here, Mark is here as well. So we've got a great night, and it's just great to have Alex back on. So without further ado, let's welcome to the podium the Director of Athletics, Mark Harlan.
Thank you, Billy. Let's give it up for Bill. Just another great year. I don't know if Sean's here either, your partner in crime, but you guys did a great job all year. Well, thank you to everyone that's here tonight, giving us some time on a Monday. Very, very grateful. See a lot of familiar faces. Saw you a lot this year at games. We're very, very appreciative. And quite candidly, we can't do it without you. And we know we're going to have to continue to build the village going forward, but we're very grateful for everybody that's here tonight. Thank you very much. I also want to thank President Randall for your leadership. You know, we can't be a successful athletic department without an incredible president who cares and leans in. Thank you very, very much. Always supportive, always helpful, and always with great guidance is members of our Board of Trustees. They were particularly helpful in the search process as we thought about what we wanted and what we needed. I want to thank Chairman Gardner, who's here tonight, for all your leadership, for everything. We also had our Vice Chair, Katie Eccles. I don't know if Katie's here yet, but she was incredible in this process, along with David Parkin. Thank you, Christian, and the members of the trustees. This athletic staff is amazing. They put on this event, and you know, we just had this incredible gymnastics meet the other night, and they flipped everything around. Like I said, they flipped everything around. They got everything ready today. I appreciate everybody that's been so involved in this, but I do want to point out certainly Charmel Green, our incredible Chief Operating Officer, and the greatest softball player in the history of the University of Utah. I want to thank John Gents, the CFO. Don't ask him for $1 because he won't give it to you. John Gents, the best. Patrick Nolan, our Chief Revenue Officer, right? Patrick, where are you? There he is. There he is right over there. I don't know if your daughter just realized I called out your name, but she's sitting right there. Jason Grieco, our compliance extraordinaire, also runs our NIL programming. Jason, I think I saw you. Thank you for your leadership in this process. Great for you. Manny Hendricks, my man Manny, sitting over there. Manny, stand up for a second. You get so mad at me, so I'm going to make you do it. Manny is that voice. Manny's that voice that's just always there. He's such a caring person, and he's incredible. And our true athletic director, Lisa Bouillon, my great assistant who keeps everything rolling in crazy days. She also takes those phone calls. Thank you, Lisa. If you want to know how to park, don't call Lisa. I can assure you, she'll tell you. But when we think about thank yous, I got to thank this basketball team over here. This basketball team, guys, stand up for me for a minute. Stand up. Stand up. You know, I've been doing this for a long time, and every team is special. Every team has something to them, and it's an incredible group of young men and leaders. You know, I think of the moments of this team this year on this very court against BYU, that magical overtime, seeing this place filled for them, the reactions that they have when it's like that. I was talking to one of them today, and just like, we got to get that. It just makes a difference, right? It makes a difference. It gives that extra bit to them. Appreciate everyone that came all season. Appreciate you guys. I also would like the staff to stand up for a second, please. The work that's put in to run this program, there's no such thing as Saturday, Sunday. There's no such thing as 7 days a week, because it's more than that. Josh, you're sitting right there. Josh, if you could stand up, sorry, I'm going to make you stand up. Josh Eiler. His leadership, his stick-to-itiveness, his steps. Got a chance to see him address this team quite a bit after wins and losses. He's amazing, and we're forever grateful for your time. I remember when Fox called us, I think it was last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, and said, hey, we're launching this new tournament. We want the Utes to go as an at-large team. I went right to you, and you said, let's go. These guys are so fun to coach every day. They're so fun to be around every day, and I know they're going to want to play together again. Thanks to you, your staff, and, of course, the players, these guys are going to play again, I think, 2 weeks from tonight, if I have that right. And in this new tournament called The Crown, got a lot of big-name teams there, and appreciate you guys stepping up and going to it. So make sure you guys all watch that. It'll be on Fox. We'll get a lot more information. Thank you for that. Appreciate all you guys. So why are we here, right? We made a change, difficult as it was, and Taylor and I talked about what we were going to be looking for in a leader of this program. And we talked about all the qualities that you would think. Someone that could lead, someone that could be incredible around our student athletes, and all the things that you want in a head coach. But we started getting deeper about the whole program in general, and what did we need to do? And if we could reach into the past, as long as that person was the best, as long as that person was the best for this team going forward, then that would be great. And boy, did we get that in Alex Jensen. When talking to people about Alex, which I have done, they use words like loyal, kind, prepared, dedicated, loves his players. And those are all the things that we were looking for. all in one person here. So really what we've done here, it's rather simple. We have reached into our past to develop our future. And it's time for a new. I want to welcome Natalie and you beautiful kids. Hope you guys are in our neighborhood. Crossing our fingers. By the way, and you'd agree with this, the transition's pretty easy for you. You got a lot of stuff going on, but I know it's harder for you guys. So we appreciate you and those smiles on the face. I wish you guys could see them, the price. Without further ado, I want to introduce our 17th head coach of the famed Utah men's basketball program, Alex Jensen.
You know, the last few weeks have been, especially watching that video and being here, is a trip down memory lane. And I think about all the people that have, in my life that have made, not only my life in basketball, but this moment possible. And I kind of laugh to myself because my family, a couple siblings who aren't here, who I don't blame them because they grew up, that's all they did was come to Utah games. That was the family vacations. But, no, I had a great and supportive family. I had a great mentor and friend in Coach Majerus. He memorable, and I know, And I've had a lot of people along the way. The nice thing about this process is I've been able to speak to a lot of my teammates, and I kind of feel like I represent them. But I'm grateful for my family, the university. I don't want to echo too much of what Mark said, but the Board of Trustees, the Eccles, the Huntsmans, and the Gardners, and I can still remember my freshman year when Kim sponsored my scholarship, and then I think John Sr. saved all of us from Coach on many occasions. But I'm grateful for all those people that made my career special here and helped me as I went on. And the NBA community, which I've been so fortunate to be a part of, the friends and the people I've learned from there, the teammates. I've just been lucky to be around a lot of good people. And Mark also said it. The team and coaches, I respect them. It's a difficult time, but I wish I had more time to get to meet them and know them. But and then President Randall, it was only for a few minutes I spoke to him, and the vision he has for the university was really inspiring, and Mark as well. And it's an exciting time to be. It's a world-class organization with athletic support and great support and fan base. And I'm excited to get a team, people that want to be here, a hard-playing, tough team that other teams do not like to face. We're students that graduate, and also where players want to come for a multitude of reasons, which I think are here. But I am grateful, and I'm excited, and I keep thinking about all the work that I need to do. But thank you all for coming. I wish I had time to spend with all of you a few minutes, but I really am grateful for all of you that have made this possible. Thank you.
Sit down for questions? Yes, sit down.
We're going to do a Q&A with the media here in a minute. I'm going to lead it off real fast. Alex, I'll start with you. In this process, as you've thought about it, and I'm sure you've thought about it more than once through the years, what had you most excited about taking this job and coming back to your alma mater?
It's funny, when I've been at a crossroads in my career, timing, it's interesting how things happen. And it felt right. And, through my conversations, I'm extremely diligent, I think, when I make decisions like this. And I talk to a number of people. And, at the end, as hard the decision as it seems, at one point, it becomes easy in the end. And it was, I think the excitement and the timing just felt right for me.
Great. Mark, on your side of it, through the process, you have the conversations with Alex. Of everything that you guys talked about, what impressed you most through the process about Alex and his desire to have this job?
Well, you know, it wasn't X's and O's. It had nothing to do with that. You know, when we went face to face, it was just, you know, getting to know each other better, right? We've had a chance to meet on more than a few occasions. We certainly had when you were here with the Jazz, right? We had some breakfasts, and you know, I just want to get to know him a little bit better. I wanted to learn about Natalie. I wanted to learn about the family. I wanted to learn about all those kind of things, because when you make these hires, you become, you know, a partner with somebody that you're investing with. And so we just really talked about that. We talked about everything that's going on. I think the trade just happened, so you probably the lovely Maverick trade. So I think you probably remembered half of what I said, but it was just more getting to know. And then as the process went on, he just asked such thoughtful questions that you could see his mind thinking about those type of things. And so, you know, I could tell his excitement was there, but he's just a very thoughtful thinker and processor. And so I just want to give him all the information. College basketball has changed a lot since those videos, and I want to make sure he was up to speed on all those changes as well.
All right, we'll open it up to the media. Just raise your hand, identify who you are and who you're with, and we'll pass the mics around over there.
Steve Bartle, KSL Sports. Alex, you know, we've heard a lot about you being a connection to the glory days, but also being the man to lead this program into the future. What does that mean to you?
You know, I remember playing here, and, you know, the history, especially basketball, it's rich. And I remember thinking, like, you're in a long chain of great players and great teams, and I think, you know, obviously it's I don't want to say a continuation of the past, but I think it's a connection. But I've specifically approached it as forward-facing, and to carry on the tradition. And you know, the one thing is, you know, when Mark was just speaking, is you know, going through the process, I remember back to, you know, my times playing here and the relationships and the people that were around the program, and I remember, you know, I mentioned it to President Randall that, you know, I just all of a sudden remembered Chase Peterson, Coach Majerus, and the commitment they had, and I remembered that. And the same thing, talking to Mark, remember the Chris Hill days with Majerus, and then, you know, the Board of Trustees, which was a great thing, because I remember, you know, their parents or their father-in-laws, just the commitment they had to the program and the people. And I think that's one thing as you go through basketball, the one thing that makes it worth it, because all the time you spend away from your family is relationships and the people you do it with. So, you know, it just kind of struck me that talking to all those people.
John Kunis, Associated Press. Alex, you spent the past dozen seasons as an assistant coach in the NBA. Had a role in player development there with Rudy Gobert and among others. How do you feel like that experience will translate to being a college head coach?
You know, I was actually, my coaching journey's been, I wouldn't change anything about it. Like, I remember my first job was with Coach Majerus in St. Louis, and I remember I was playing in Europe and I didn't want to quit, and I flew to meet him in St. Louis, and he asked me, and I think I said yes because I was still scared to say no to the man. Which, there's a lot of truth to that. But no, it was a great learning experience there. I had other assistants there. Then I went to the D-League and had a great experience there. And then in the NBA, I worked for some great coaches. I mean, I had 1 year with Tyrone Corbin, who gave me my shot in the NBA. 8 years with Quinn Snyder, and we went through a lot of different teams and ups and downs, building a program. And then even 1 year with Will Hardy, and then with Jason Kidd this last couple years. But you know, the college game, I think it's becoming more and more professional, and I think most players are the same. They want to know if you care, and two, if you know what you're talking about. So I think, you know, I've been able to go through that. I think it'll help me here.
I'm Jeff Ranier with Fox 13. I was going to kind of a lead into what's finished off. You got players over there watching, listening to what you have to say. How are the challenges of the new NCAA college basketball It's a lot different than when you played. How are you approaching those challenges that you didn't have to face in the NBA?
You know, I think it's ever evolving. It's changing, and I think in 6 months or a year, it'll even be different from now. And it actually reminded me of my days in the D League, when you're negotiating with players, and it's you try to make it a place or a team that they want to come. Like there's a reason to come besides just the money and things like that. But it's kind of fascinating to me, because I think like I said, it'll change, but in some ways it can makes it simpler, if that makes any sense. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited for the challenge, and it's a new world. It's the Wild West, that's for sure.
Hey Alex, Dana Green with ABC4 here. Welcome back. And there's been some other former Utah greats that have been mentioned as possible assistant coaches joining your staff. I know you just got here, but how far along are you in maybe bringing in some assistants? And do you have a comment about some former teammates that might be possibilities? One of the things from the get-go is I knew it would be difficult, but I felt like I needed to finish the season in Dallas. And they've been great, and I don't think they would mind if I left, but I just feel it's the right thing to do to finish it out there, which, makes all that, hiring a staff and getting going a little more difficult. But just like when I'm making the decision, like I'm going through the extreme due diligence, and I've had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, and, a lot of people want jobs, but again, I'm taking my time, and I've spoken to a lot of teammates recently, but I want to take my time and do it right instead of rush it. In fact, I've talked to a lot of former college coaches that have said that. Take time with your staff and do it and get it right.
Josh Furlong, KSL.com. Alex, as you approach getting back into the college ranks, what is going to be the type of style that you want to run? Is it going to be more NBA style? Do you look to the Big 12 and kind of how they're doing things? Where are you pulling these things to kind of determine what you want to do?
It's a good question, because I've spent the last 13 years in the NBA, so that's kind of where my mind is. But I think it's something that will evolve. In talking to some of the players, and even some of the board of trustees, I think it's something that'll change, and you have to tailor it to your team. But I think in the Big 12, it's a tough physical conference. Like it's an underrated basketball conference in my mind. But I think as far as style, it's going to be a lot of NBA, but it depends on the personnel I have. I want them to, I don't want to say play fast, but I want them to play free, not be afraid to make mistakes, but also have a solid core of hard playing, and there's things that we do every night. I know that doesn't answer the question real well, but I think it'll be ever evolving, because I'll evolve coming back to college as well.
Jason Patacchio from the Salt Lake Tribune. Alex, just kind of walk me through the timing and everything that you went through just making this decision, because from what it seemed like you were in a good situation in Dallas. I mean, walk me through that process, and for Mark, what were some of the things that you had to kind of set up to make sure that this was a right fit for Alex in terms of donors and all those other factors?
Well, it was a roller coaster, to say the least. And, it's always hard, because there's kind of a guilt, going through a process like this while you have a job. But, there's a number of people, a lot who I've met through the university, that I call and I talk to when I make a decision like that. And, I went back and forth, and I think I mentioned it earlier, and the timing was hard, because we were going through some adversity in Dallas, and I wanted to give them everything I had. But no, I think I just try to talk to everybody that's involved, like I mentioned earlier with the university, and friends I have, and I went back and forth many days, but I think in the end, it became clear that it was it was a good choice. And it was a lot easier when I was single too, making choices. So
And but I think obviously I take my wife and my daughters into the equation now, which complicates it a little bit more, but it's a good thing.
I think whenever you have such a critical position, obviously for the athletic department, but I would argue that for the entire university and this program in particular, it was so critical to have, like we said earlier, the board and president involved, and they participated in the process, which was great because we were able to download afterwards and all those kind of things. And like I said earlier, Alex had some really thoughtful questions, and we wanted to make sure that we were being honest about everything. I don't want anyone to leave a great job and not be completely candid about everything. We talked about the revenue share, which will change, which he was alluding to come July, which will change a lot of things in the industry once again. So yeah, we have a lot of people, and yes, I've had some donors call me, and they're very excited. They remember Alex, and they're really excited about it. I mean, I get it. This is a family here. This program is a family, and Alex is a key step along with others joining in and getting this place filled up again. And if I saw Patrick's article in one of your papers today, wrote an article. Is that you, Josh? About we're so pleased with the response to our public and season tickets already, and folks that we haven't heard from in a while, and so it's an exciting day for all of us. One of your articles, who wrote it? Sorry, my bad. These guys are, they got really thin skin, y'all, the media. See, I looked at the wrong guy right there, and the other guy got upset. Too many Joshes.
Alma Bean, KSL Sports Zone. So, Alex, you've mentioned a handful of the coaches that you've worked alongside, whether it's Majerus, Kidd, Snyder, Hardy. All of them, they have their impacts on and off the court. What would you consider your staple would be to this program, either on or off the court?
What my staple would be?
Yes, sir.
That was my coaching journey I talk about is I think the fortunate thing of being a head coach for a couple years is you learn to find yourself, and you being genuine. You kind of find your cadence of when not to do things. And the more coaches you're around, I think that helps you with that. And I think, like I said, I realized today that I can't be Coach Majerus, and I got to find myself, and I can't be the other way. But I think players and people react and respond to you being genuine. Whether it's encouraging or telling him to do it again and again and again. But I think, one, if they know you care and they care about it as much, once they know that I care, I think that lifts their care up more, if that makes sense.
Alex, Dave Fox from Channel 2, welcome back. There's obviously a lot of people in this room that were impacted one way or another, for better or worse, by Coach Majerus, and you kind of alluded to this a little bit, but I'm just curious what you take from him in your coaching style, what you learned from him, or maybe what you don't take from him as you go forward becoming a head coach here at Utah.
I always, the line I always say with Coach Majerus, and we joke about it, is he kind of ruins the game for you because you learn, it's hard to watch a game without picking it apart. There's a genius, and I was fortunate enough to play for him and start my coaching career because you get your base knowledge of basketball. Being in the NBA, I tell everybody, NBA is not the place to learn the game. It's, you look at a lot of the great coaches that have come, they've started in the minors, George Karl, Phil Jackson, and, guys of that nature. But, the one thing about coaching with Coach Majerus is I got to see a different side. And you know what? And I think we realized that when we played, that he did care. And when you ran into troubles is when I think he thought he cared more than you did. But I think, there's a saying in the NBA, it's a little bit different than college, but you have only so many bullets in the gun. And you got to pick your moments when to, and that was one thing that Jason Kidd, I think, was great at. He picked his moments and he hit it right on when it was time to, go after the guys and when not to. And, and that's sort of being around all those coaches, I think I got a good feel for the right way to do it and the right way for me to do it. Not every day.
Alex Markham, Ute Nation and Rivals, welcome back. Just to kind of piggyback off Dave's question, you've been able to coach under some really great coaches, so I'm really kind of curious what you're going to be taking maybe from a few of those guys as you go forward in your head coaching career.
One of the nice things about an assistant is you can kind of sit back and watch, right? You can just sit in the back, let's say, of the film room or on the practice court, and you can just watch players' reactions to, certain things that a coach does and see what's effective and the timing of it all. And all the coaches I've worked under, they've had a different personality and a different approach. And so it was always, it's fun to watch and learn, I think, and ask questions. And that was the good thing, is you could see what players respond to and what they don't, and the timing of it. And then, as an assistant coach, a lot of times you're the shoulder to cry on, for different coaches at different ways, but where you still support the head coach, but you kind of tell them that, where they're right and where they're wrong. But just when and the timing of everything, I think, is important.
Hi, Coach Jensen. Andrea Urban with Fox 13. You mentioned being genuine, and so that kind of